happy 4th of July. This week I am going to be working on the port side planking, and let me tell you, it does not go as smoothly as the starboard side went. So let's get into it. Okay, I'm back at it. So this little thing's been working great. This little fixture that I made, that I talked about in my prior video. So it's helping me keep all of these lines here, all of these holes here just in the right place, because I'm pretty critical towards the edge here. I need to be right in the middle of those battens. So that's working out really well, which is good. So I'm trying to just focus on the frame holes. So I'm trying to keep all of my frame holes, which are a number 10 screw, get all of that done first, and then I'm going to come back and do my keel and come back and do my batten screws, which are a number 8, and the keel I think is a 1 inch and the battens I think are a 3/4 inch. So I'm going to label each plank and just sort of say when the frame's complete I'm going to tick it off, then I'm going to come back do the keel, tick that off, then I'm going to come back and do the battens. So I'm going to label each plank here, try and get myself organised, because the last thing I want to do is put like a number 10 hole into a 1 inch or a number 10 hole through a batten. That's just going to go straight through it and it's going to be a big problem. So trying to keep myself organised and figure out how to do that. So this is my plan of attack. So what I'm intending to do is use these original planks as the patterns for the screws, and I can tell where the number 10s go, because I can get those back in the holes. Of course, I lost my notes of what goes where, but I can figure it out because the number 10 won't go in a number 8 hole. So then I'm just moving that over and duplicating the pattern. The only exception to that is on this back here, they absolutely hammered this with screws. You can see really close. And I think that was because the original design for this transom bow was a 3 multi-layer piece. I've improved the design and gone for 1 solid piece of oak. So therefore I don't need as many screws that were originally there, I don't think. I can always put more screws back in. It's hard to take them out. So this is the original transom bow, and you can see that they were aiming to hit multiple layers within the transom bow. So that's why I think they were using so many screws on this, was to try and hit multiple different pieces of wood here. I don't have that problem. Mine's completely solid. Look how right out this was, by the way. Totally toast. You can see I had to use some plywood just to put it together, but yeah, this was totally smoked because it was 3 layers, and I think that's why they were so crazy with the screws on it. I don't have that problem, so I'm not going to put as many screws in. I don't see the point. I don't know if I'm screwing up here and someone knows better than me, let me know, but I'm just following this original pattern because it's solid wood, so I'm using that as the precedent on the back here. If I've got to put more screws in, I can, but like I say, I can't take them out, so that's my plan. Toughest part about this is these little cutting areas get blocked up as you're drilling. So what tends to happen is you drill it and you don't get that shoulder to the right depth. So if you're ever doing this, that's something you need to look out for. So what I end up doing is blowing this out. Thank you. just end up blowing this off, trying to blow these shoulders out a little bit, and then coming back just to make sure that that depth is correct. Because you'd be pretty annoyed if you start to put all these in and then realise that they're not sunk deep enough. So that's something to look out for on this job. Okay, you've seen this step before, but let's fit some planks. Amazing what a difference it makes when you start to put these wedges in. It really starts to help you understand where everything should be. All of a sudden everything starts getting tighter. Works really well to help me find exactly where I need to be. It really starts tightening the planks up where they want to be. Works well. So what I'm doing is trying to get this line that I drew perfectly back in alignment. I got secondary lines that I can look at. So I'm feeling pretty close. This has got to come in a little bit. This feels pretty good. This line's looking really good. This one's looking pretty good. So it's worth taking a bit of time to align this up, but I'm feeling pretty good with it. So I'm gonna start to drill. So swap back over to the little cordless. This one's really lightweight and I'm very used to it. So hopefully he's going to help me find these holes through this ply. Yep. Yes. So it's such a great feeling when you just get through that ply and go straight into the hole. And then, of course, what's going to happen here is screws just going to centre this up for me. I reckon you only need to be within like a 30-second, and then the screw's going to do the rest for you. It's just such a relief when you hit it, like, oh my god, thank God for that. Nice. Four for four. No need for a new boat yet. Yes. First plank's the most nerve-wracking. So if you're going to screw up, it's going to be a screw up. It's not like I've spent, 800 hours on these frames. Screw's lost its head. I've obviously used it too many times. There we go. So carry on doing that times however many screws I've got, and I'll be in great shape. Okay, so I've hit a problem. The issue is, these are the screws I've been using. They're a number 6 I got from Amazon. And when I use those, I can use torque setting number 5 on my clutch, and I can drive these things home and get a really nice fit. I've run out. I didn't notice I ran out. So that's annoying. So I am 2 days away from those. So I've got these around, which I was originally using, by the way. I don't like those because they're coarse and I don't get as good of a set. So I can use torque factor 5, but some of them are popping. So those are out. Don't want to use those. So went to the blue store, Louise's, and got these, which is a number 6. Theoretically the same, number 6 wood screw. Obviously it's just marginally different with the shank here, but there's got to be something different on the diameter on these, because I can't get, they're both number 6 1 inch, by the way. You can see how physically different they are. I can't get more than 1.5 on my clutch with these, so junk. So that means exactly where I need the most amount of hold is on the front here. As everything curves round, I just can't proceed without those screws at this point, because this is going to just pop off. It's going to be no good and it's going to trash the holes. So that's pretty frustrating. It's my own fault, I should have spotted it. So I will carry on drilling while I wait 2 days for those screws to come in. The reason I wanted to get all of this drilled is because I have to set up the drill. Here you can see I set up the collar on the drill so that I get a consistent depth. So I wanted to keep one setup, drill everything, make a new setup, drill everything, because I've got to go from a number 10 for these frames down to a number 8 for the battens. So I wanted to get all my number 10s done consistently, then I wanted to switch to 8, but it looks like now I'm going to have to do 2 setups. So all a bunch of wasted time and frustration because I ran out of screws. So lesson learned, it is what it is. So here's the other error that I've got. This is what it should look like. These 2 locator screws are already in, and then I've come along and put these 2 in here, so 4 total. Here, what I've got is a situation where when I put these 2 screws in, the plank was a lot wider than this. So I centered the 2 screws, not remembering that I was going to trim this plank. So therefore, this is way too close to the edge. So I should have 4 screws across here, should look like this, but what it actually looks like is this, just with the 3. So what I've decided to do is omit this screw hole that should be there, because it literally should be right next to this one. So I'm going to omit it, and I use this to cover both the batten and the centering, and I'm going to leave it like that as 3. So no one's ever going to know apart from you guys, so shh, don't say anything. This week I've been drilling and drilling and drilling and drilling and drilling and drilling. I did some drilling also and drilling. Okay, so I'm going to set this thing up. So this is a Fuller countersink set. Really, really good. If you're going to be restoring a boat, you need one of these. So I've got to set it up for a number 8. So there's my number 8. Now I've got to set it up to countersink this as well. So I'm going to try about that. I need to go crazy tightening this up. So this is the setup that I was using just, which I didn't want to break down. So you can see it's got a collar on it to set your depth. So oh. Do not all on because you're watching. Son of a pup. You can see it's a little bit fiddly, which is why I didn't want to break that one down and then have to reset it back up again. Okay, I'm going to try this. So what I do, once I've set it, and I think what's a really good idea is to test it. Put him on that. See, that looks deep to me. See how deep that shoulder is? Probably don't want to go that deep. Oh, too deep. So then it's just a case of adjusting the collar until you get it right. Okay, there you go, second time around. I think I'm happy with that. Okay, I drilled it, I committed, use this beeswax on all the screws that are going into oak, so I've waxed it, so let's give it a test fit. Son of a pup. Yeah, tons of pull, and I'm happy with the shoulder on that, so calling that a pass. So a couple of tips. I'm colour coding each screw hole. My frames are plain, I know these are number 10s, but green for me, which is all the way down here, coordinates with my scale. My key here, and green means it's a keel, it's a number 8 1-inch, and then I'll code my battens a different colour, and then when I'm going to put these all together, hopefully I won't make any mistakes. So that I think is a good idea. And another tip when you're using these fuller countersinks is just to bring this sleeve right up to the chuck if you can, and that prevents this from slipping, which could mean you go too deep. Trust me, I've learned that one the hard way. Better to use the chuck to grab that, as well as the little grub screws. So making progress. Pretty happy with how that's coming out. Very good. So I'm just duplicating the holes based off the original plank, so they're all going back in the original places where they were. So yeah, coming together good.